Bienvenidos y bienvenidas. Welcome to Write and Shine Liz. I'm your host, Lizette Ramirez, Mexican American, first generation mama, survivor, and author of Silent Lotus, A Bloom No One Saw Coming, now available on Amazon. This is a space for healing conversations, live stories, and chisme con propósito, the kind of chisme that tells the truth and helps us heal. And today I'm joined by a powerful voice, Cristal Alferez, author and writer of Mil Mujeres and Me, and an advocate for trauma, cultural healing, and first generation experiences. Cristal, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Liz, for having me here. I am so excited to be here today with you in your new channel, which I am pretty sure is going to be super successful. So thank you for creating this for us, this an opportunity for all of us to share our stories and heal as well.
Thank you. And to start, the icebreaker. If your younger self had to describe you today in 3 words, what do you think she would say?
I think my younger self would be very proud of me. So she probably would say she's a strong woman, she's resilient, and she's powerful.
I agree. I agree. I see it. I see it personally. I'm so excited for you to talk at the end of the episode about your upcoming event. I'm so excited.
Thank you.
And now let's talk about roots and identity. Where are you from? And when you answer that, what part of that place still lives in you today?
So I was born in Ciudad Juarez, Chihuahua, which is the border with El Paso, Texas. And I am Mexican, so I moved here to San Diego in 2013. And um I feel like I am a woman like with two nationalities now because I've lived a
Hmm.
long time here, but I still identify as Mexican. I every time somebody asks me, I am Mexican, even though I feel like I have embraced the culture pretty well. And it's funny that I feel like I didn't know this, but when I started writing my book, I didn't realize until the very end that the book has a lot of like the geographical place of it. It's in Mexico. So it was like somebody from Mexico living in the border wrote it. It was not like, but I wrote it here, that was interesting for me.
Yeah. Wow. Yes, that is very interesting. You brought your own like culture into the book. I love that.
Exactly.
And before we talk about books or advocacy, who is Cristel Alferez when no one is watching? Not the title, not the work, but the woman.
Okay, so at home, I do have a 9 to 5 job. So I'm an engineer by day, and I also married a engineer guy. So we both engineers, we work together as well. So when I'm here, I'm just a regular person. I would say we came home to cook, we enjoy having dinner together. But then afterwards, that's when I start working in my passion, which is writing books and editing and organizing all those things that we are into. But I do enjoy going for walks at the beach, and sometimes I take the train back and forth to LA just to admire the scenery.
What? That is so cool. I've actually never been on a train and I've always wanted to. That's wow. That's admirable. You grew up witnessing your mother experience domestic violence. What is something about the season of your life that people don't talk about, especially the impact on the child watching it happen?
Yeah, so in back in Mexico, being in the border is actually very, I would say, a very different life, especially living in the border because the city grew up so much in some point because of all the factories that came to install themselves there. And so you have all this much people coming into the city, and it turned it out into a violent city. So it was a difficult time. Also, growing up with my father, he was an alcoholic for a certain period of time. So it was hard for me because I was like a little child, it was between my 3 to 7, 8 years. So it was about 5, 6 years that my dad was definitely into alcohol. So that was hard for me to watch because those were the years when I'm growing up, and
Yeah.
absorbing all these emotions and things.
Wow, yeah, I bet that was very hard, especially maybe not fully understanding what was going on, but to an extent you did know that there was something wrong about what was going on.
Exactly.
You've said you promised yourself you'd never repeat that cycle. What did that promise cost you emotionally as you grew up? And was there pressure to be strong or different or better?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I think it affected my relationship with men because I'm always looking for somebody that is not like my dad. But I think unconsciously you keep attracting some partners like that, and I think it is to heal, right? So I feel like I had to put up in this mask of being stronger than everybody, or nothing hurts me, or nothing affects me when deep inside I was suffering for a long time and I didn't know why. I think I carried this deep resentment against my father for what I noticed when I was little. And it wasn't until I started doing my retreats and transformation that I understood that I had stored that pain inside me. So that was a profound discovery for me.
Wow, yeah. I actually went through domestic violence as well, and I, as the mom, also went through that same feeling of resentment. And it's almost like you're poisoning yourself because I also held that emotion in until I started going to therapy. And then that's when I also was able to heal that emotion.
Mhm.
And let's get honest, how does witnessing abuse shape the way that we choose partners, set boundaries, or even tolerate red flags? And even when we swear that we won't.
Mhm. Yeah, I feel like it's very interesting because um I think energetically we kind of attracting the people we need to attract to heal. So you ended up attracting some people that has characteristics of your father, or what that was the case with me. So I could see that. And but at the same time, I think it's helped me heal because now I'm noticing why do I am reacting to this if it's a completely different situation. And then I started to realize that I'm not reacting to him, I'm reacting to like my father when he did something
Wow.
similar. So it took a long time of me also like going to therapy for like 2, 3 years to understand that I was safe now, that my inner child was the one that was hurting inside, but I was okay. I'm an adult now and I can be okay with myself.
Wow, yeah, that's very strong. And
Mhm.
how was your process to finding therapy?
Finding therapy, how did I find it? I did actually just kind of like go to I wanted to find somebody that was very good, but I thought the prices here were crazy. So I managed to get a contact from a very good therapist from Puebla. And
Oh,
and she used to charge me like it was here like was $50 an hour, but back in Mexico it was almost like 900 pesos, which I think it was pricey back there. And and I just love her. She was older than me, so I felt like she understood me. And that was very, very healing because she would let me find out my own answers and give me a
I
few
love that. I
exercises.
love that. Oh my goodness. When did you realize your healing wasn't just about you, but about your mother and your ancestors and the women who didn't get a choice?
I think when I started like going back in my family tree, like realizing like, okay, so my mom suffered this, but my sister's probably having a hard time also finding a partner. or my other sister is dating somebody and the relationship is very
Mm,
toxic. So you start noticing this pattern in the relationships with all the other women in your family. And if you go backwards, like I realized there was a lot of abuse when my mom, when she was a little child, her mother died when she was very young. So her father remarried, and her stepmother wasn't really a good mother to my mom. So then you start noticing all those cycles if you keep going backwards. And that's
mm-hmm.
when you are like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
Yeah, that's very strong. To take a pause and look back at all these patterns,
Mm-hmm.
what other patterns did you notice repeating themselves before you consciously chose to break them?
Yeah, I think there was a lot of like, I would say there is a lot of alcoholism in my family, especially in the men's side. There is a lot of toxic relationships for sure. There is a lot of verbal abuse. And I would not say there was a lot of like violence, like hitting or all of that, but definitely a lot of yelling and things like that. So that is still abuse, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And things that, you know, infidelity sometimes, like hidden infidelity, hidden children here and there. And you are like, why is this like normal in the family? What's going on? So
Wow.
there's definitely many interesting things that you find out once that you start really digging into it, which is like, oh my God, sometimes you wish you didn't.
I'm like, it's all the tea, all the chisme that we want to
Exactly.
know.
Exactly.
Who are the 1,000 women you carry with you, and which one was the hardest to sit with while writing your book?
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about many women in my family tree, and I started doing some research, and I found out that sometimes we inherit genes from like 7 generation of people before us. So, you know,
Mm-hmm.
our parents, then four grandparents, then great grandparents, and it goes back 7 generations. So if you count all of those ones, we're talking about 2,000 people that had to get together, get married, have kids so that we could be here today. And I think that struck me like, wow, we came from like more than 1,000 women. And there is very possible that we inherit talents and abilities, but also pain from them. So that's why I was like, wow, this is so powerful. And I would think one of the ones that definitely was the hardest for me is coming to terms with like we didn't have a grandmother because my mom lost her
Oh,
mother when she was only 3. So I think there
right.
is a little bit of that maternal feeling that was missing in my family.
Wow, you're right. Um, was there a moment while writing your book when you almost stopped, or what made you keep going?
Yeah, I feel like there was definitely many stories that are
Mm-hmm.
really directly related to people in my family, and some of them I was like so worried that my mom would be mad or that my aunties would be mad at it. So I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I should. So what I did is I changed the names of most of the ladies so they don't relate to anybody in my
Oh,
family.
okay.
And also, many of the stories, I had to put an ending to them because some of them are people that are still alive, so I would not know. But I write an ending that I thought would fit them nicely. So I think I was so helpful. It was so helpful for me to count on Erica Alfaro, who is
Mm-hmm.
my book coach, because she kept me accountable for writing the book. Yeah. She was the one that was saying, you gotta keep writing and make it a habit.
Yes, I agree. So Crystal and I are in the same writing group, and we are both mentored by Erica Alfaro, and that is actually how I met Cristal. But yes, I agree. She is one to text like, "Hey, is everything okay? You haven't texted me. How's it going?" And we're like, it's going. I'm like, little by
Exactly.
little, but it's going.
Mhm.
And what's a hard truth about healing from trauma in our communities that people avoid saying out loud?
I think a hard truth would be like it's hard to be the first one in your family to saying that you need to go to therapy because we're not used to saying
Yes.
that. And people is like, but you don't need it. Ay, tú no lo necesitas, o tú estás bien. And they don't understand that there's a journey for us to do that. And also you don't know how long it's gonna take. And but I think it's important that we do it and that we show our kids and younger
Mm-hmm.
cousins and everything that it is important and that it is okay to do it. So somebody's gotta do it. So I'm glad we are actually doing this for our families.
I agree. I'm also in therapy and I have my kids in therapy too, so hopefully they don't get, I mean, they don't have to have all these emotions that are like closed off and they're able to express their emotions and control them. I know it's hard as even as an adult to control anger, but I mean, they could try.
Exactly. Exactly. No, that's so wonderful that your kids are also doing therapy because that's great for them and they can start seeing that as normal, which is like we all should see it as a normal, just like going to the doctor.
Yes, yes, I definitely agree. What do we get wrong about strong women who came from violent homes?
I would say, like in the past, some of my partners have seen me as a little bit too bossy or being like controlling or, like putting in this emotional shield because I would not want to be hurt or I would not want to be, left out again or things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's hard to explain if you don't know yourself why you're doing it until you start working in yourself. I was like, oh, I have this tendency, or I'm a perfectionist because I want to control everything that's going on. I don't want to be in that situation again, so to speak. But I feel like deep down, we all very just emotional people. And I am particularly very intuitive too. So I feel like I have this being extra sensitive to things, but for the longest time, I would not allow myself to cry or anything because I didn't want to look vulnerable to other people. So nowadays, I allow myself to express my emotions safely.
Wow, yeah, I think that's a strong example of not allowing yourself to cry in front of people. I felt that if I cried in front of people, it would make me feel, I mean, yes, vulnerable, but what I don't,
Like weak or something.
yes, that's the word, weak. I
Mm-hmm.
felt weak if I cried in front of people, and I did not like that.
Exactly. But in reality, that's a strength because you can
Hmm.
feel deeply. So that's the beautiful thing about being able to express our emotions. And I know my husband still kind of makes fun of me sometimes. He says, "Oh, you're too emotional." But you know what? I don't care nowadays. I feel like I love feeling deeply too.
I agree. I'm such a crybaby now. What would you say to the women who's still protecting everyone else's image while quietly breaking hers inside?
I would say that sometimes we really need to speak up for ourselves and realize when we start seeing red flags or something that it is okay to leave. I mean, I know we all have different circumstances, different life um, events of different things, and but I definitely would say that seek therapy or even find a good friend that you can confide to, because
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very good to talk to just friends that understand us and they would help us in case we need help one day. And also to start looking for options, like if you think you would need to leave your house or something, don't wait until something bad happens to do that. Start
Mm-hmm.
doing your research, but definitely have trusted friends that you can always talk to them, so you're not always like only in your mind.
Wow, yes, I love that. And what does real support look like? Not the Instagram version, but the messy real life version.
I would think that real support is when we are actually, when we have like really good friends or a brother or a sister that we really can count on, that we trust them, and people who even just checks on us, like just a text or a message here and
Mm-hmm.
there. And that helps us to feel like, hey, somebody else is cares about us. So somebody else is always there, like ready to talk to us. And even I think it's important, and I saw this the other day in Instagram, to have like a small like secret message when you would text a friend, hey, do you have 6 minutes? And that means like, hey, I really need to talk. And that you could, you know, um yeah, you could have that person call you right there, because that's a secret code.
Oh my gosh, yes. I think I need to start doing that. Yeah, I am definitely going to start doing that.
Yeah, I think we should start a like a chain in Instagram again, so people
Mm-hmm.
does know, like, hey, if you ever get this text, it really means, I really need you to call me or something like that, because I think it's powerful.
Yes, I agree. And if a young woman is watching this right now, seeing her mother go through what you witnessed as a child, what would you want her to know about her future and her worth?
First of all, I would say that is nothing to do with you. Like your parents, sorry, are not fighting because of you, and that they both immature adults maybe, and they don't know exactly how to work in their emotions or how to be responsible adults. So don't think it has anything to do with you, because sometimes we kind of think it's my fault, or grew up with shame or feeling guilty because of that, and that is not the case. And that you are valuable, that you are perfect as you are, that you could be okay, and everything is gonna be okay, and there is light at the end of the tunnel.
I really love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yes, I hope a lot of women, or I hope any women watching this follows what you just said, because they are valuable and they will have a life. They will be able to live on their legacy. What is one small but powerful step a woman can take to begin healing generational trauma today?
I would say one small step that you could do today is definitely to stop the negative thinking, because it's so easy to get caught up in that negativity, or like I say, oh, I feel guilty because of my parents, and then you start creating all these bad thoughts about it. So I would say every time you had a negative thought, stop yourself, start questioning those thoughts that you have, and realize, hey, is that a real true thing, or change it. If you think I'm not good enough, that simple thought can create a chain reaction that's gonna make you feel low and makes you feel down, and then you start feeling, bad all day. But if you can cut that thought and change it and say, wait a minute, I am good enough. I get up this morning, I shower, I did this for my kids, I cooked, I am a good
Yeah.
person. And just to start changing it for positive thoughts. And it's hard in the beginning, but I think we can do it. And that is why our minds are like, you can reprogram your mind to think more
Mm-hmm.
positively. But it takes effort, but it's definitely, I would think that's the first step to start doing, changing our negative thinking into more positive ones, and definitely stopping ourselves for going through that spiral.
Yes, I agree. I definitely had to unlearn the negative thinking and turn it into positive. I mean, I started by reading self-help books and it opened my brain. I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, hold on. So yeah, definitely follow what she said, what Cristal said, it I think it's very important to start from there.
I would ask you now, so what's your favorite like self-help book that you read that made you like change your mindset?
Um, I don't even know the title, but I have it here somewhere. But it's by Don Miguel Allende. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
his name.
Los Cuatro Cuerdos?
Yes, that
Yeah,
one.
that's a good
That's the
one.
one. When I, because I would take everything personally. And I think there's
Mm-hmm.
a chapter in there that says, do not take everything personally. And I'm like, is he talking to me? And that's when I was like, okay. So I kept reading and I'm like, I was mind blown. I was
Mm-hmm.
mind blown. And also because as a little girl, I didn't like to read.
Mm-hmm.
So I my love for books grew when I turned 30. So it's been
Wow, that's
a year and a half.
interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
How about yours?
you're a writer now, so I'm surprised. That's awesome.
No, right? I'm like I became an author now. But yeah,
Yeah.
what about your book? What's your favorite self-help book or your first one that opened your eyes?
Yeah, I would say that there has also been several ones for some reason, and I can't think of one right now, but I
Hmm.
definitely read that one too, and I also recommend The Mastery of Love by the same author, and that
Yes.
one I feel is very beautiful too, and yeah, I mean, there's been lots of books in my life that has changed the way I think. I think lately I am so into Joe Dispenza because he talks a lot about neuroplasticity in the brain and how we
Hmm.
can reprogram our brain to think better things, better thoughts and make better questions. And I think I'm in love with that right now.
Yeah. Wait, you said Brian Tracy.
What?
The author you said Brian Tracy?
The author is Joe Dispenza.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I think I read another book by Brian Tracy
Mm-hmm.
and it's titled I read it in Spanish actually.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's called Cómo hacer.
Que te pasen cosas buenas.
Oh wait, that one is by Marianne. I don't know her last name, but that's the second book that actually
Mm-hmm.
finally shifted my negative to positive thinking. So those
Oh,
two first books were incredible for me.
that's another podcast we should do when we get all like our favorite five, six books and then we can talk about all of them and
Yeah.
how they have helped us.
Oh my gosh, I agree.
I
Stay tuned for
love to.
another episode. I'm like, part two.
Yes.
There's so many books out there.
Mhm.
And where can people find you and support Mil Mujeres and me and continue this conversation with you?
Yeah, so I have my book here very quickly, and this is my book, Mil Mujeres and Me, and this is the hardcover, which I am obsessed about hardcovers, so I had to do my book in a hardcover. But it's available in paperback and in Audible, in ebook, so you have no excuses not to read it. And it's on Amazon. And also I am in
Hmm.
Instagram como Cristal Alferez. I can put that in the comments if you guys want to follow me and my journey. And I'm gonna be in TikTok too pretty soon because it seems
Ooh.
like everybody's moving to TikTok now.
Yes, I love TikTok. Is there anything your heart wants to say, even if it feels uncomfortable or unfinished?
Yeah, I would like to say to all the women that are going through domestic violence of any sort of violence that you are not alone, that there's a lot of help out there, that there's other women like we have also been through. I mean, many people, when they meet me, they think I've never been to anything bad because they already see this version now. But in reality, I'm full of stories. And I feel like many of us can identify with your feelings because this is like a generational issue. I'm pretty sure we all been through some sort of abuse at some point, and it's okay to talk. It's okay to go to therapy. It's okay to look for friends for help. And there's always like good people willing to help us too,
Mm-hmm.
and not to think like this is my husband and I have to stay with him forever. You are allowed to walk away from relationships that are not good for you. So I could definitely find help, find friends that I can talk to. And I mean, yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Thank you so much. Lastly, do you have any upcoming events or anything else you want to share that you'll be working on or doing?
Yeah, definitely. So right now we are organizing the first women's conference for the International Women's Day. Me and other three women authors, together with the Association of Latino Authors, are gonna be presented in this conference for women on March 14. And I actually have here the flyers. It's a very beautiful flyer. I mean, I wish I could. Yeah, so it's called International Women's Day Inspiring Voices, and I'm gonna have a talk. It's called Remembering the Value That Lives Within You. So I am pretty emotional because I feel like this every time I give a talk, it also heals something inside me. It's almost like I'm giving it out, but it brings something to me that needed closure or something. So I'm so very excited for that. And I hope you can also join us in one of the tables with your book. Because,
I would love to.
yeah, because I feel like that's the main purpose of this event is also to showcase our work as authors. We want to make sure that there is more Latino people, Latino women and men writing their stories and sharing their books with us. We want to get more people into books and everything. So yeah, that's what we are doing this March 14th.
Yay! That is very exciting. I honestly can't wait. And I am very interested in showcasing my book there. So, yes, count me in.
Do you
I
have
will
a date
definitely be
for
there.
do you have a date for your book presentation yet?
No, I don't, not yet. Right now I'm looking for where to host an event. So I need to look for that first, and then I'll look at dates, and then we'll see how that goes. A ver.
Okay. Yeah, that would be great. So yeah, we will be there to support you too. I'm so excited with your book too. I wanted to let you know that I started reading a few pages and I had to stop myself because I also can feel like it's very, very deeply emotional for me too. So I was like, oh my gosh, I need to read this at night or when I'm home with some tea because it's so very beautiful. So congratulations in
Oh,
publishing
thank
your book.
you.
So I know it's gonna be a total success. I love the cover of your book.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And Cristal, I want to thank you so much for turning pain into purpose and for reminding us that healing one woman can change your entire lineage. And also, muchísimas gracias for everyone watching. I'm Lizette, and this is Write and Shine Liz, where we share, heal, and shine. One conversation, one story, and one chisme con propósito at a time. Nos vemos next episode. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.